Thanks for tuning in for Vinyasa Yoga today. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class, I've never taken yoga before, that is A-okay. So I always talk about alignment. I take the time to build up a pose, so I don't just call out a pose name and expect you to know where we're headed. I will give you guidance. We start nice and slow, build up fundamentals that we'll visit later in the class, focus on our breath. We do pick up the pace a bit, we're moving more on the mat, and then we end with the final rest period on our back, where we remain still for about 2 to 3 minutes, allow the benefits to absorb in our body from the class, and we give some time for reflection, because yoga is not just about what we do on our physical body, it is about what goes on in the inside as well. I will remind you guys to always listen to your body throughout the practice. You can take breaks if you need to and then jump back in whenever you're ready. Always listen to your body and make sure you check with the doctor before you start a new exercise plan. With that out of the way, we're gonna get started. We're gonna start on our back today with your feet facing towards the front of the mat. So plant your feet on the mat, separate them to about mat width distance apart, and then however you can comfortably come all the way down onto your back. Then let your knees fall together. Place your arms out at your sides, palms face up, help open the front of the chest, and we'll start with some breaths here. And start to deepen the breath a little bit. And just follow the rise and the fall of your chest for your next few moments. And as we exhale, imagine that we're releasing any doubts about the class or about our day. All of our worries or insecurities leave our body on the exhale. Now start to breathe in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Nice cleansing breaths. In through nose, out through mouth. Take a few more rounds of breath just like this at your own pace. Then resume your natural pattern of breath. And draw both knees in towards your chest. Let them fall to the right into reclined spinal twist. Knees fall all the way over to right side of the mat. Maybe they touch down to the floor, but maybe not. Don't force it. And head turns gently to the left. We're going to take a nice easy twist to start. So lower the knees a little lower than hip height. Be easy on your body in this first stretch. Stretching the muscles and the core. Warming up our spines. Slowly draw both knees back to the center of your chest. Then let them fall over to the left. Lowering the knees a little lower than hip height and turning head to the right. Take another breath or two here. And slowly draw both knees back in towards the chest. And return your feet to the mat. Extend your right leg up to the ceiling, press out through the heel, and hold on to the back of your thigh for some support. Just relieving some tension in the right leg for now. Feeling that stretch on the back side of the leg as we press out through the heel. Now pointing through the toes, feeling the stretch on the front side of the leg, maybe on the top of the foot as well, and holding here. Now crossing the ankle into figure 4. So raised ankle crosses over left knee. If you look down at your legs, this will look like an upside down 4. You might be feeling enough sensation in the hips here. You're welcome to stay here. But if you'd like to increase sensation in the hips, float left foot off the mat, flexing feet, keeping them in line with the knees.
Then you can thread your hands through and hold on to the back of the left thigh for a little support. And just take a few breaths wherever you're at as we release tension in the right hip. Then gently release, returning both feet to the mat. Left leg extends, pressing out through the heel, holding on to back of thigh. Holding here. Now pointing through the toes, feeling the stretch on the front side of the leg. And again, crossing ankle into figure 4, crossing over the right knee this time. You can stay here or float right foot off the mat, ankles in line with knees. And then anytime during the class, if you try to take things a step further, creating a little more sensation in any other pose, and it doesn't feel right, you can always take it a step backwards. Don't feel like you are committed to holding one pose in a certain way. And release, both feet return to the mat. Place your hands along the sides of your body, palms face down. If you cannot touch the back of your heels with your fingertips, adjust your feet until you can. Feet are hips width distance apart, then bending elbows, fingertips face up to the ceiling. Press into the feet as well as the arms to lift the hips into bridge pose, lifting the hips off the mat, lifting chin from chest and holding here. Pressing into the arms as well, not just the feet, as we open the front side of the body, strengthening the legs, strengthening the glutes. And we'll release, sending hips down to the floor. Draw both knees back into your chest. And you can hold below the knees, pulling thigh close to body. If that's uncomfortable on your knees, you can hold on to the back of the thighs instead. And then nice and gently we'll rock side to side. Just helping to massage the muscles on the back side of our body. And then slow down until you find stillness. If your hands are not already on the back of your thighs, go ahead and place them there now. Then start to rock forwards and backwards so we can gain momentum and rock ourselves up into a seated position. Once you're in seated, stay facing the front of your mat. Any comfortable seated position will do. Take your right hand over to left shoulder and press the shoulder down towards the floor and let your head fall to the opposite side. Getting a nice stretch on the side of the neck here. You might feel it down the shoulder as well. Maybe chin rolls down towards the center of the chest and then back over to the shoulder. And then we'll switch sides, lifting head through center. Now left hand comes over to right shoulder. Gently press down and let head fall to opposite side. Release and lift your head through center and place your hands on your knees or at your sides. Round the spine, dropping chin to chest. Then lift and arch the spine, tilting head up to ceiling. Still working with the spine here. Exhale as you round the spine, dropping chin to chest. Inhale as you lift and arch. Continue this movement at your own pace for the next few moments. Exhaling as you round the spine and inhaling as you lift and arch. Find stillness, finishing up. And meet me in tabletop on our hands and our knees, wrists stacked under shoulders and knees stacked under the hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers. Lift your left arm up to the ceiling and we'll thread the needle. So pass the upraised arm through the right, so between our right hand and knee. We'll lower left shoulder all the way down to the floor, bring our cheek to the mat, and try to relax right shoulder away from the ear. Find some ease in the right shoulder. Then use your right hand pressing on the floor to press yourself back to tabletop, and we'll take that on the opposite side. Right arm lifts up to the ceiling. We're going to thread it through, passing it through the left, bringing shoulder and cheek down to mat. Slowly bring yourself back to tabletop and lift up to the tips of the fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip. Flatten the back, so draw belly in towards the spine. Give me a crunch, drawing right knee in towards the chest, rounding the spine, pulling the belly up high, then step or place your foot into lunge, in between the hands, ankle below the knee. Draw the breath in through your nose, nice and slow as we lift both arms overhead. Nice deep breath into the chest. Then exhale out through the mouth and bring fingertips back down to the floor. Nice slow movement. Deep breath in, lifting arms overhead. And exhale, fingertips to floor. One last time. Deep breath in, arms up. This time we're going to hold and exhale here. Relaxing shoulders away from the ears. Now, option for a little bit of a challenge, especially if you've been practicing with me a few times before. You're welcome to stay here. If you'd like to challenge your balance a little bit, tuck the left toes onto the mat and see if you can lift that left knee into the air and come into high lunge, extending out through left heel. If you're wobbly, that's okay. If you try it out and you don't like it, you can bring your knee back down to the mat. We're going to revisit this pose later on in the practice. If knee is lifted, go ahead and lower it now. Try to move nice and slow. Maintain control. And then everyone bring your fingertips back down to the mat. Extend your right leg behind you. Point through those toes. Keep the leg active for me and return to tabletop, knees to mat. Left leg extends, heel in line with hip. Flatten the back. Give me a crunch. Knee to chest, round the spine. Pull that knee up nice and high and step or place it into a lunge position. Draw the breath in through your nose and slowly lift both arms overhead. Nice deep breath and slow movement. Exhale out through the mouth, fingertips lower back to the floor. Deep breath in for 2, slowly lifting arms overhead as we breathe into chest. Exhale out through the mouth, fingertips to floor. Last time, deep breath in. We're going to pause and exhale here. If you try the challenge on the opposite side, do the same here. Even if it wasn't the prettiest attempt, right toes tuck onto the mat. See if you can lift that knee into the air and make it into high lunge. If you lifted the knee, go ahead and bring it back down to the mat, nice and slow as you can. Everyone bring fingertips down to floor. Extend left leg behind you, point through the toes and return to tabletop. Lower into puppy pose, bringing elbows down to the mat.